From one side of the galaxy to the next, the Earth Directorate is on your side. Whether against corrupt corporations, tyrannical governments, or corrupt corporations in league with tyrannical governments, the Earth Directorate is here to fight for the rights of all colonists.
Might be a little obsessed. You ever find a video game just kinda out of nowhere that you just instantly connect with and have to make it your entire personality? That was pretty much me in Outer Worlds 2. Oh my god, it's so good! It has all of my favorite things in it. Pulpy space aesthetics, completely over-the-top humor, and ridiculous weapons, and strong anti-late-stage capitalism vibes. That's like the primary theme. And I'm in need of dice for myself. I don't know if I'm cursed or what it is, I just can't seem to hold on to a set of dice for me. So I'm currently without a set of dice that I have made for myself that's good and ready to be rolled. So I'm gonna try and make 2, and I figured I'd just go ahead and make them Outer Worlds themed because, that's who I am now. I am Outer Worlds man. Auntie's choice is the best choice, and the best choice is the only choice. I've already got a little bit of a head start on this, but I have a plan for 2 different sets of dice and 1 giant D20 because I can't help myself. We gotta make one of those. But I can already tell you, we're off to a good start. So let's go look at the thing I've already been working on. Every great adventure has to start somewhere. What better way to mix my great loves of D&D and Outer Worlds 2 than Sam Riegel? During my first playthrough, one particular side story made me fall head over heels for the game completely. As you're exploring the outskirts of West Point on Dorado, you might discover a little shack that's a little bit suspicious, to say the least. That's a lot of Purpleberry Krunch in here. There's nothing in here but Purpleberry Krunch. In later parts of the game, you discover the truth about Purpleberry Krunch, but the signs are kind of everywhere. Now with 110% of your daily chemicals and preservatives. Being real, if I was in this world, I'd probably eat Purpleberry Krunch, even though it's poison. I eat a lot of things that are probably poison. That's just how food in America works! Exploring this little plot detail further leads you to a little man named Charlton Weintraub, whose voice you'll no doubt recognize.
Appeared right out of the aether. It is widely known that a sentinel is required to stand revealed before rendering judgment.
He just said, if you're a cop, you have to tell me you're a cop.
Swallow the propaganda?
You've obviously noticed the purple stain around his mouth. What's the deal with that? I wonder.
It's a birthmark, skin condition, both.
You think he likes Purpleberry Krunch? Obviously, he's the dubious devourer of this delicious indulgence. And discovering this, I knew I had to make some Purpleberry dice. In episode 219 of Making Dice with Dice, we did a swirl dirty pork combo that was actually pretty close to what I envisioned for this set. So using that as inspiration, I grabbed just about every purple that I could find in my whole collection of dyes. I got mica powders, I got gel mixatives, I got glitters, I got alcohol inks, I grabbed it all. Then I got to work. Because of the volume of dice that we have to make, we use Envirotex Light for its 12-hour cure time. We found out about it through Ribonator, and it works just as good as any other resin that we've ever tried. Just a lot faster. I split my resin evenly across a 4-part swirl cup. Mica powders and gel mixatives are both pretty opaque dyes, so I made sure to separate them by clear resins, just to help create some depth. Then I immediately forgot why I did it, and I mixed a ton of this glitter with some Pinata Blanco to make a nice opaque purple sparkly thing. I also had these really long purple glitters that we've been using occasionally, but I just left them with clear resin because I thought it looked interesting. Doing a swirl like this isn't effective unless you let the resin heat up to at least 115 degrees. It's most effective at 135, but that can create lip issues, so we usually go for around 115. Once it got there, I did the dirty pour on top of my glitter resin spots, really just hoping it would emphasize the dirty pour of it all. We found that it's best for dirty pours to do a nice slow controlled pour, just gently swirling around, and sometimes even moving between the dice before they're full up. It's a very simple technique to do, but it's very, very satisfying in the end. Once the dirty pouring was done, it was off to pressure pot land to debubblify our dicily dice. 12 hours later. Okay, so here's the current state of affairs. Our Purpleberry dice are very purple. They're looking good enough for Charlton Weintraub to eat.
Look at you.
Your lips are stained with snacks.
That sugary snack goodness was worth my life.
Sam Riegel would be very proud. They do look very good, very sparkly and very swirly. And after a nice polish, which I hate showing in my videos because it's a long, grueling process that makes me very sad, it was time to ink the numbers. While it was very tempting to use another purple, because, you know, Purpleberry, purple, purple, purple. Knowing the truth of what lies inside, I had to use a nice toxic looking green. I kind of have to make the correct green to ink these Purpleberry dice with, which is far easier said than done. I decided to mix green and a sort of highlighter yellow and a little bit of white, which wound up working totally perfectly. I got exactly the color I was hoping for. Once the numbers had dried, I used a microfiber cloth and some isopropyl alcohol to wipe off the excess. Then it was time for the glamour shots. These came out exactly how I hoped they would. They're a great representation of Purpleberry dice, and they're just very, very pretty rollers for me to use for making dice with dice. All that I can hope is that the fate of this dice set turns out a little bit better than that of Charlton Weintraut.
Never expected I'd end up hanging above one.
He's still alive? He's just detoxing from the Purpleberry Krunch.
Aww.
Now the next set of dice we're gonna make should be relatively obvious. Relatively. We're gonna make some Auntie's Choice dice.
Ah, there you are.
They are some of the greatest villains / allies I think I've ever seen in a video game.
Our target market doesn't stand a chance.
That's concerning. And they have some real strong aesthetic choices. So the way this set of dice should look is pretty clear in my head. However, I have to do something I've never done before to make this happen, so let's see how this goes. I was most inspired by Inez's armor style, since you spend a lot of time with her, and I immediately thought of doing a layered pour with gel mixatives to match the 3 colors of her uniform, orange, green, and white. But a simple layered pour is too boring for the wackiness of Outer Worlds, so I decided to let each layer cure at different angles inside of the pressure pot. I started with the orange layer because it was the easiest color to make. I had a nice lava orange gel mixative that just easily matched. I went ahead and slanted the mold on the inside of a pressure pot that's in serious need of a good cleaning. Try not to pay attention to that. Then I poured in just enough to get a nice little slant in there, leaving enough space for the other 2 layers to fit on top. Just in case this caused any kind of weirdness with the texture of the dice, I went ahead and did these as a clear coat, just to be safe. I still have 2 more slanty layers to do, and I don't have the exact Auntie's Choice green that I want to have, so I'm gonna have to work pretty hard with these gel mixatives to really get it exactly right. The green gel mixative that I have is a deeper green, and we need a much lighter sort of yellowish look. So the easiest option for that is to mix it with yellow and white. Sounds easy, but I kind of had to play DJ until I was comfortable. This layer was the hardest to pour in correctly, just because if I filled in too much, I wasn't gonna have any space for the white. So I leaned it against the side of the pressure pot to get a more extreme angle, hoping that would help leave some space. This was obviously a time-consuming process, so I was glad that we made it to the 3rd layer without any real issue, and I didn't have to cure this one at an angle either, so that was good. Just had to clean off the surface of the mold to make sure that the cap fit perfectly tight against it. No lips allowed! I've obviously been working with a white gel mixative this entire time, so getting this color right was really easy. Just super simple. 3 periods of 12 hours later. I have unmolded the Auntie's Choice clear coat inserts, which again was an experiment that I really wasn't totally sure was gonna work totally right, and it did. It was perfect. I got all the weird angles and colors that I wanted to have. It looks especially great on this D4. The colors are almost exactly what I wanted. The only one that's like ever so slightly off is this orange. It's just a little more like translucent than I would have wanted, but it's not bad enough for me to want to redo these dice for anyway. Because if Auntie's Choice is anything, it's definitely not perfect by any stretch. So we're really happy. We're cruising right along with this project. Very happy so far. The last of these pours was absolutely the easiest. Just had to mix up a bit of clear resin and fill up the mold just a little bit, really making sure to get it on the lip of the mold to help lubricate these things way in. I placed these as randomly as I could, trying to make sure that no color was supposed to be the highest color roll. It felt more chaotic and fun that way. The lame thing is we currently can't do clear coats with our D2s, so it was just gonna be a clear resin thing, but I didn't like that. So I added some Mad Micah's ectoplasm to really get that teal color that hasn't come through in the dice so far. Filled up the D2 with that and sent this set off to pressure pot land for the last time. Another 12 hours later. This might have been my happiest demolding in my entire dice making career. I put a lot of thought and effort into these things, and seeing them come out exactly how I envisioned them was just oh so satisfying. There's some really minor flaws, but I could not care less. These are just totally top-notch. After a nice polish, it was time to paint these things. And I'd been debating for a long time about what to do exactly with these. I decided to paint everything but the highest and lowest numbers with this aqua color that really matches the D2 and that one color that hadn't really come out in the Auntie's choice of it all yet. But Auntie also loves yellows and reds. So for the high and low numbers, I did an ombre effect that Nikitha taught me how to do. Apply yellow paint to the top half, apply red paint to the bottom half, wipe them off with your finger, and there's a magic little bit of swirl in the middle. Sometimes, but it looks really good. Two-tone numbers are totally satisfying. Then we were ready for our corporate mandated glamour shots. These dice are totally unreal and I kinda can't believe I get to keep them. It's not often you have a vision and a creative project comes out exactly like you pictured them. Every angle is different, they just scream Auntie's choice and they tickle me so much. Can't believe I made them. Auntie Cleo herself would be proud of these things.
Ingenious, innovatory. Keep it up, you'll be going places.
And last but not least, we can't do an Outer Worlds thing without having a Moonman thing in there. But we're gonna go dark, because the Moonman gets real dark in this second game. Since I have yet to really master Blender, I had to hunt down a Moonman STL, which really wasn't that hard. I found a great one pretty fast. I just had to scale it down to print it. My only complaint with the Moonman is that the face doesn't really read. The details are just slightly too small for the scale I had to print it at. But that's okay, we'll be able to make all of that work with paint, because we're not going full-on straight Spacer's Choice with this. This is Outer Worlds 2. Spacer's Choice has had a bit of a hard time. After a 10-year time jump at the beginning of the game, you find out that Spacer's Choice and Auntie Cleo's have merged into Auntie's Choice after a very aggressive merger.
It's no longer just a Spacer's Choice, it's Auntie's Choice.
It's pretty obvious that Auntie Cleo was the winner of this particular merger, and Spacer's Choice has become a bit of a joke. Deep within the bowels of the undisputed claim, you can find a familiar character that Auntie is keeping hostage.
You're not half bad. Someone outside our corporate family.
And that's the Moonman we're gonna be painting. Though he's still alive and kicking, we're gonna go a little bit further. I've done a full Auntie's Choice playthrough of this game, and in doing so, I discovered a quest that she gives you to hunt down and exterminate the last remnants of Spacer's Choice. And that mission is as dark as it gets. My bones hurt and my gums are bleeding, as happens. So we're gonna turn this Moonman mask into a full-on severed moon head. But I've never really done any mini painting before in a serious way. So, I got some pointers from my buddy Blue Wizard Studio, the mini painter guy. He's really incredible. He told me a lot of stuff that I should do, so I'm gonna try them. And this could be where this whole thing falls apart, but hopefully not. We will see. Onward and upwards. I gave it my absolute best shot, and though it was a bit of a struggle at times, I'm actually really proud of how it came out. It's not perfect by any means, but it totally looks like the character, which is something you really shouldn't expect for a first time doing this. So I was over the moon to get this thing in a dice, pun absolutely intended. I wanted it to look like there was an explosion, blowing this guy's head through the roof, so for my first pour I did just enough to secure the head in place and take the base out to give me space to work. I added some Sparkle Plenty mica to all of the resin to give it a nice starry effect, and I thought the cloud effect would be the best way to achieve that explosion and blood fountain thing that I had in my head. I have a gel mixative that's literally called Bloody Red, and I grabbed a few fiery looking mica powders, as well as the zero gravity mica powder from Mad Micas that I absolutely love to kind of resemble the smoke. I figured that as I was doing the cloud technique, I could start with a lightened up version with some Pinata Blanco Blanco, and then slowly add more of the mica to darken it up and really add a lot of dimension to the clouds. I was so excited by the vision in my head and all of the successes that I was having on this project that I failed to see what was happening in this pour. The finish line was like right there. I knew it was going a little too smoothly. Things were working like exactly how I wanted them to. I was gonna mess something up. It just sucks. This was it. You can't see him. It cascaded. It fully occluded. You can't see the Moonman, so there was no point in making this thing. And I painted that so nicely. I'm so upset. The first mini I ever really painted, and it's gone. Lost in the ether. That's okay, because we can just do it again. We're gonna do it again. We're doing it again. Though it's obviously super frustrating to have to do this over again for a second time, I actually think we made some improvements to the painting on the Moonman. So maybe it was for the better, I don't know. But being fully unwilling to be met with failure once more, I decided to drop the entire idea of the explosion at all and kept it simple with a nice clean blood fountain for the decapitation.
Am I correct to assume that the beheadings will continue?
I tried to be as light as I could with the clouds to make sure we didn't lose the Moonman head while still getting that cool bloody effect, and sent it out to pressure pot land hoping that I didn't have to do it for a third time. I really didn't want to. I don't even know how long it's been anymore, but it's some multiple of 12 hours later. This moment of truth had me maximally stressed, but everything turned out okay. This giant D20 looks phenomenal. It's a very gory scene captured inside of a dice, and you can still totally see the Moonman on the inside. His face might be slightly more covered than I would like, but I still fully love this thing. After quite a while of polishing this thing, because it's harder to do the giant dice, Nikitha took over the painting of this and tried to do a nice Spacer's Choice yellow. And though the idea of Spacer's Choice may be dead, it will live on forever in these glamour shots. This dice was a total struggle to get across the finish line, but it was worth every minute that I spent. It's a great way to put a moon-shaped cap on this entire collection, and I just couldn't be more proud of myself. And if there's any Spacer's Choice left out there among the stars, maybe they're proud of me too.
Why would you possibly think that? No.
Then again, maybe not. So let's not think about it too much and get a look at everything all together. This whole journey was a lot of hard work, but it was time very well spent. I have two of the best dice sets I think I've ever made, and I'm gonna do my very best to keep them all intact because of how much work they were. And that's not even mentioning the giant display piece that is this massive D20. All in all, I think we did Auntie's choice justice, and we left quite a bit of room to make even more Outer Worlds dice down the road eventually. It's 2 a.m. and this video is supposed to go live in a few hours, and I still have a lot of editing to do. All of my Outer Worlds merch is in the laundry basket, and I'm tired, so we're wrapping it up in this. Though I made all these dice for myself, if you really liked what you saw and you want to take this entire collection home for yourself, you can! I'm making an entire duplicate collection right now, and the auction for it is live right now at the link in the description below. Maybe you'll be the person who gets to take it home, and maybe all this time that I spend will be worth it. I really hope you enjoyed this. This video wasn't sponsored at all. I just love Outer Worlds and I love making dice. Hello, kitty. I've got a ton more videos like this in the works, so be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss any of them. Obviously, a ton of this footage came from me streaming on Twitch. I'm trying to do a lot more of that moving forward, which means we're gonna get a lot more gaming dice and all of that stuff. So go over to Twitch and subscribe to that too, because we're getting crazy here at Diffendice. Crazy, loco. Huge thank you to all of the RNGologists on Patreon. You make the dice roll here at Diffendice, and we really could not do all this stuff without you. Subscribe so you can be one of these lovely names on the screen right now. It really helps way more than you know. But otherwise, you all know what to do. Spread the word, tell your friends, and have a good day. I'm so tired.